So welcome to day 2 of TezDev.
I hope everyone's having a good day. Today we are going to talk about launching our first dApp on Tezos. We are going to start with the list of topics that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what is a dApp that we have been hearing this the whole day yesterday. We're going to talk about how to build a dApp and how to mint your first NFT. We're going to talk about a little bit of how to mint the NFT on Tezos itself, and the last topic about blockchain and the UI we are not going to cover today. So next slide. So well, what's a dApp? Of course, dApp stands for decentralized app. It's like a regular app that we can build on the web too, but with some components that are on the blockchain, right? So we have a decentralized component, a centralized component as well. Next slide. What kind of problems solve the decentralized application? First, it's not controlled by any entity. It helps you to not rely on any central server to host the most important information of your application. You can host, the usual techniques are hosting information in the blockchain and hosting information also in the IPFS or interplanetary file system. And the goal of a decentralized app is, first, the ability to be sensor resistant and at the same time, transparency to the end user. The components of a decentralized app are two parts. First, we have the smart contract, like we talked yesterday. Tezos offer a wide variety of flavors in order for you to develop your smart contract. And the second component is the off-chain system, and this is kind of like the centralized part of your dApp. And other components are the user interface and the indexer as well. Next slide. So OK, what we are going to need to build our first dApp. First, next slide. We are going to need a Tezos wallet. We have plenty options in regards of which wallet you can choose. There is template wallet that you can use in your browser, and lately it has support for Android and iOS. We have a Kukal wallet that also works in your browser, and we have a Ledger that is the kind of like hardware wallet. That's the first component that we are going to need in order to build our dApp and start interacting with the blockchain. In order to build our dApp, we are going to use two essential components. One is the Beacon SDK, which is the library that's going to help us to interact with the Tezos blockchain. And we are going to use also Taquito, that was mentioned plenty times yesterday, that is going to give us a lot of functions to, again, interact with the blockchain, create transactions, and sign transactions, and so on. So we are going to mint our first NFT on Tezos using React. The steps for doing that are, first, we need to connect our wallet and grant permissions. Then we are going to upload all the metadata of the NFT to IPFS. We are going to send the transaction to the blockchain in order to create the token. We are going to wait for the confirmation, and then finally mint the token and check if that is finally in our wallet. This is how the code looks like. This is extracted from the Beacon SDK. We can say that we select the network that we want to interact with, and then, yes, we request permissions to the network to start interacting with the blockchain.
You can tell this one's kind of an old presentation. Look, a lovely old Hangzhou net.
Yeah, totally. You can see that the name of the network is an old one. Sorry about that. So then the second step, in order to mint your NFTs, we need to upload the information to IPFS. That includes the token metadata, where you can include the title, the description, the artifacts. It could be the thumbnail, the display image, and so on. All this information is kind of like standard information, including the FI2 standard. And then, yes, we are going to upload all this information to IPFS, and we'll see what IPFS returns. This is how the code looks like in order to make a call to the IPFS and upload this information, all the information related to the NFT. In this case, also, we are using Pinata, which is a service that allows us to upload files to IPFS and have CDN and CDN and caching for your assets. Then again, this is how the code looks like. Here we have like all the information, all the metadata that NFT needs in order to be minted. Like here we can see like the symbol, the description, name, artifact, thumbnail, display, decimals, and so on. Like all this information is specified in the FI2 standard. Again, this is how the result from the IPFS look like. This is just a JSON response with all the information that we previously submitted, like the name of the token, the description. You can see the artifacts there, all the information that's in the IPFS. So in order to send the transaction to the chain using Taquito, we are going to send the transaction to the chain using Taquito, sorry. And then, OK, here's where we specify where the contract is. And if you are interested about how the contract looks like, here's the link to GitHub. Finally, we're going to send the transaction to the chain. Here's an example of how the code looks like using Beacon. This is a standard call where you select the network, you specify the wallet and the contract, and this is how the call for the transaction looks like. Finally, we wait the confirmation. This is also that happens frequently. You need to check for common errors. If the network failed, you need to create a method to retry it for that, and so on. But if everything looks good, finally your token is going to be minted. Next slide. So as I was mentioned before, in order to send the transaction, we need to specify the entry endpoint, the token ID, the address where we want to send this information, and again, the amount of NFTs and so on. And if everything worked out, you will have this lovely example of transaction. And if everything went well, this is how the NFT is going to look like in your wallet. Yeah. I think there is not so much. Yeah, that was it.
Cool.
Short and sweet.
So it was a strange title, Hello World, your first dApp on Tezos, and we tried to show a Hello World app. I wonder, are there any questions? I think this is about the third time there's been a your first app on Tezos workshop at this conference. So yeah, please.
Yeah, I tried to speak loud. Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
I've seen in the code. Oh, thank you. I've seen in the code that there was a Michelson to map function call, and I was wondering whether it was because it was an upgradable entry point or for any other reason.
An upgradable one? Wait, let's have a look. Which bit are we talking about?
This one in particular, the token info.
Token info equals
line
Michelson
4.
map from literal.
I think that's something related, again, how to...
Is it, sorry, are we talking about this bit?
Yeah, this one, the Michelson to map object from...
Yeah, so this is where we put the token info into the contract, and this, so here is the IPFS URI, so we just encode that and put it in. There's no magic there, sadly.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, I was about to say that. It's just for encoding the information. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else can you do when you're building a smart contract to mint an NFT outside of just the parameters you talked about? Yesterday we had from SmartPi, they showed how you could make one that's only available at night. What are some other things you've been able to do in NFT smart contracts, like batch minting or specialty mints?
To be honest, we haven't done an enormous number of really creative things. We've always wanted to, but not done it. When we talk to people initially, they frequently say, can we make them not transferable, or can we make them do this? Normally, it's kind of violating the deal that you have with the people that buy the NFT, that they want to be able to do things with it, and any new functionality tends to really sabotage that. So yeah,
Yeah, most of our work lately has been just minting NFTs, just regular contract for creating and minting the NFT.